What's up, brother?
Hey, hey, how you doing?
I'm good, man. Good. Happy to be on here with you, man.
Oh man, I'm happy to be here too. I'm happy I woke up this morning, fired up, ready to go.
That's it. You know, it's funny, man, watching you because I see a big change in you, Pierre. I see a massive change in you. Your whole face. It's like you're happy all the time now, man.
I mean, I have my I have days like everyone, because I'm
Yeah.
human. But it's the thing is not to stay there. I was like, you know what? I've been through this stuff. You know what? It's about where I'm going, it's not where I've been. It's not about none of that.
That's exactly right. You know, you can only stay in one spot so long, man. If you work at it, you're going to work your way up.
Yep.
That's the best part.
No time for lack. God ain't put
Yep.
us here to be like that.
Yeah, he didn't put us here to be idle. He put us here to do something. You know, it's funny that you brought that up. Remember the story of the talents? How
Yeah.
he gave talents to one of his kids, gave talents to another kid, gave talents to another one in the Bible. You know, and then basically one of them just buried it in sand. You know, and just went back, gave him back what he gave. Yeah, I was
Gave
like,
them.
dang, God made us to be fruitful, and multiply, man. I mean, that's what it's about. So we have to do the right things. You know.
Exactly. He even
So I know you
made
got a bunch of questions, man. You want to ask me?
Oh,
I know you got a bunch of questions you want to ask me, man. So let's get to them.
oh yes. Oh yeah, we're gonna get to him right now. Man, so what got you into entrepreneurship? Like what got you out your comfort
Uh,
zone? Like when you first started, what was going through your mind when you first started just doing these
you know,
amazing things that you do?
well, first off, let me say this. First, we were, me and my brothers and sisters, we were blessed to have a father that was very strict. I was like the basketball star in high school, and my pops was like, "I don't care, you got to have a job," like, and I was scared to work for my dad because he was so strict, and I actually went and took a job at McDonald's. That didn't last very long because I had some kids, beat up my car, and I got in a real nasty fight over it. So, my dad made me come home and work for him, and I will say, I think a lot of our entrepreneurship stuff, comes, to all of us, all of my siblings and myself because of my dad. My dad was an entrepreneur. I mean, he
Right.
it's kind of funny saying this because I talk about this a lot. My dad was an advertising agent. He owned an advertising agency, and one of his projects back in the day was plastic phone book covers. And I laugh about this because people often remember these, but he actually used to create the covers for phone books back in the day that had advertising all on the outside that were just one color and so on and so forth. And he got tired of that. So he actually worked with a machine company, invented a machine that actually sealed a piece of paper between the two covers, between two pieces of plastic that went around the phone book cover. And so then he had full color designs on his insert, basically. And he sold it all across different cities, all across the U.S., doing that. And even some into Canada, some into Mexico. And, it was kind of crazy, watching him do this, and then watching his business evolve from that to where he was doing, much more printed materials, to buying a print shop. I mean, buying a sporting goods shop. I mean, my dad was always doing something, network marketing on the side, that's just where it came from. I mean, he didn't sit idle. So, we knew that we had to work. That was just the way that he put it into us, as kids, so I've always been a worker. I mean, I was in the military, I got into sideline income. That was, A.O. Williams. When I was in the car business, I was still doing network marketing on the side. And it's just kind of funny that, people don't understand, when that's how you're raised and that's all you see, that's what you do. So for me,
Right.
like, getting initially when I got in, I didn't really have like, say, a breaking point. I just thought that was normal, like that's the
Oh,
way I was programmed, and I really didn't have a breakthrough, to be honest with you, until 2012, 2000, actually, well, really a couple years before that, like probably 2010, I think is the first time I tried to kill myself here. And, started to drift and started to get depression. And by the time I was 2012, man, I was so depressed in my life. it was tough. Like that was where I hit rock bottom, and everything just kind of opened and blossomed for me from there. Like once you hit rock bottom and you taste that, you're just like, you don't want that anymore. And so like for me, it was like working my way out of my hole that I let depression put me into. I let myself go there. And so digging my way out, really started to show me a lot of things. And honestly, it probably changed a lot about me because, I know it changed a lot about me. Not probably, I know it did because, in the very beginning, I mean, if, young adulthood, what do? You start chasing money. You get a taste of money, you get crazy with it, And so, that was kind of my lifestyle, It's like I was making more money than everybody else. And, I didn't really give a shit about everybody else. That's just how I was, And to be honest, my downfall was probably the biggest blessing of my life because it literally made me realize, man, I'm no different than anybody else. I'm everybody else. I am everybody else. And it leveled me out and it opened my heart up, man, to a place where it never been, and it allowed me, I get a little emotional talking about this, man. So it allowed me to really start to care, for people. It allowed me to really start to understand people weren't just dollar signs. People weren't just money, and like, I started to build relationships with people and things started to change in my life, man. And I'll tell you, it wasn't always easy, but I'll tell you up front, the upside and the blessing is massive, of change, because now with an open heart, I'm in this business and I've got so many people, man, I care about, online that I've never met in real life, but to me, they feel like family because I'm so close to them. I chat with them all the time, and I just love that feeling, man. I love that feeling, bro.
It's a good feeling. That's why I got into your mentorship program because I could feel it. Like you could like connect it with people through energy, and you could feel who you connect with, right?
Yeah.
And once you build those true relationships with people, that's something that you can never take.
That's right, man. You can't take that away from you. I mean, it doesn't matter what anybody says about you. People that know you know that stuff's not really you because they've been with you, they've communicated with you, they spent time with you, they've seen you give. And those are the things that matter to people. They want to know somebody's there in their corner, going to give, going to take care of them, going to help them, going to show them the way. I mean, and not just try to charge them money all the damn time. That's why I got so sick of all that stuff.
Yeah, because some people just care about the money, but it's really, they don't look at the people. Like, who is that person? Like, what type of value do that person have? Who is that person? Not inside of their head, but who is that person inside of their heart? Who is that person? Like,
I agree with you. When you just see people with dollar signs, man, you're missing the big picture. There's so much more, man. So much more.
So, what was your biggest obstacle challenge?
I think my biggest obstacle is always time. I try to keep a balanced life today more so than I ever have because, before, I would literally work from sun up to sundown. I didn't get a chance to go play basketball. I didn't get a chance to go to the gym. I get a chance to do a lot of things. And I think today, to me, it's important that you take care of your health. I mean, I had a couple of health scares, last couple of years. One with my heart that scared the hell out of me and said, hey, you got to get your ass back in the gym. You got to be there every day. And then, then we had the lockdown come out. And man, literally when the lockdown happened, my heart was just, I was panicking. Like, what am I going to do to go to the gym? I was like, man, and all the stores here were closed, so for me, I was like scrambling. I was trying to find every piece of merchandise I could get right now and bring it in my house. My wife's got, we ain't got no room for it. I don't care. Because I wasn't going to fall out of my routine. I wanted to be able to keep up my routine and focus on everything, and still be able to work out. So I got a bike sitting here. I got 90-pound dumbbells sitting over here beside me. In my bedroom, I got another bench, and I got 70-pound dumbbells back there. And, I'm just constantly, working out and working, and trying to keep my life balanced, spending time with my family. But I think balance and time, man, are really the hardest things for people to overcome because, nobody teaches you how to prioritize your time. This should be a class. This should be a class we should be taught in school because when you really look at it, until I saw Dr. Stephen Covey's Small Rocks, Big Rocks, I really didn't have an understanding how to balance my time. But when I went through some of his training and we got to see that live, it kind of shows you, the first thing you do every morning is the things that make you money. The next thing is the things that support that.
Okay.
And the next things are things that support that. And the next things are things that support that. You start to build a system around that. And you realize, man, you get up, you go to work, you work your butt off. When you get a break, that's when you might work out or you might go spend some time with your family, because all those things are the things that support you. Well, time has always been the issue for me, man. I mean, like I just can't cram enough hours in the day. I wish there was, 2 or 3 more hours, or maybe 30 hours per day, so we had a little more time every day to accomplish everything we want to accomplish,
I feel that same way. But you know what?
Yep.
After my mom and dad died, I'm like, you know what? I got to try to, maybe less is more sometimes. Maybe less is more. In the kingdom of God, less is more. It's just like the opposite. We always got to do more and more and more. But God put us here to be abundant. So sometimes
I mean, like, but here's the difference though. Like, look, yes, God put us here to be abundant, but that didn't mean he said, go ball, go show off, go buy the biggest house, the baddest car. He didn't say that in the Bible. He said, be abundant and flourish. And these are the things that I think a lot of us get mixed up in. And I know as a kid, I did. I took abundance as meaning, oh, you can buy that expensive car, you can buy that expensive house. That's God's blessings to you. But that's not really what it meant. Like God wants us to go forth. Yes, he wants us to have so we don't have worry. But when you start buying bigger houses, start buying bigger cars, guess what happens? The bills start going up, and if your income ever decreases, there comes back the worry. Your abundance is now void, so you have to keep it in check.
Exactly. Oh, hold on, I got some more questions. I'm excited over here, man. I'm all fired.
I can tell you are, man, because you're around.
Well, I've been waking up like this, like a lot lately, like ready to go. It just this mentoring program, like really, like changed me, like really, like seriously, like I really want to thank you and Darren a lot for the things that you do for people, for real, because it's people that need to be uplifted and stuff around these times. And it's a good thing that we have people that actually care about other people instead of just taking their money all the time and throwing out schemes to scheme people.
Yep, I agree with you. Definitely more than just the money aspect. By giving yourself, your knowledge, away to people, sometimes it provides blessing in other people's lives, and those things come back to you in karma, man. I mean, we talk about karma all the time, man. When you put out, you're going to get back. If you put out enough bad, pretty soon you can expect that stuff to be reaped. It's just going to happen. Reap what you sow. That's what the Bible says, right?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I've actually had that happen to me. Like seriously.
Yeah. Definitely agree with that.
So, what would you say is the most important to you in life? In your life?
Man, my family by far, bro. I've never, in my whole life, I've never felt like this close to somebody, in my life, as being my wife. And, I've just never had this good of a relationship with anyone. And so for me, it's definitely family, bro. Definitely. And obviously the baby's just a blessing. My son is here now, the youngest, and that's a blessing. Now I can just get my oldest over here, I'll be complete,
See, family is, and that's how I feel about my daughter. Like, she's everything to me.
Hey, you might want to shut that blind behind you, bro, because you got that sun coming in over your head. It makes you hard to see. There you go.
Right,
that's better. Yeah, that's better.
You.
Yeah. You're welcome. So hit me with questions.
Okay, so say that, Ari.
I said, hit me with those questions. Hit me with those questions you got.
So when it comes to relationships, what's the most important thing in a relationship, you think, online and offline, to building one
Yeah, I think number one, relationships take time. There are some things you can do to shorten those up. I mean, when you have commonalities with people, it makes it easier to build a relationship. And everybody trying to make money, we have that in common. So that makes this thing kind of easier because we're all trying to move in the same direction. If we can have an opus, an honest relationship with people online, oh man, imagine how much easier it is to have with people in person. You know what I mean? And I'll tell you up front that when you're building a relationship online, it just takes time, man. You got to get to know people. You got to get to know what's going on in their life. When they feel comfortable enough to tell you the whole story, that's when you know you have a real friend. You know?
Yep. Yep.
Yep.
Somebody that you can go and see. Like, I met Deja online. I came out here. That's where I'm at right now in freaking North Dakota. Came out
That's
here
awesome.
to come see. We actually built a real relationship. Like, that's like my best friend now.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I'm happy to see that too. You know, I think that's just unique. You know, when you travel across the country or travel across the world to go meet somebody in person, it's a very unique thing, to happen. Have happen.
Yep. Exactly. So, what's the next question? Pop, Lord help me. That's all good. So when it comes down to integrity, what level do you say you're at when you dealing with integrity? How important is integrity to you?
Oh, 10, man. I mean, that's a level 10. That's the max it goes. Like I'll just tell you up front, man. Like, I wear my feelings. I tell everybody I wear my feelings on my sleeve, and I really do. Like, I'm a very emotional person. If something's bothering me, I just speak it out. I don't hold it in. Even in my relationship with my wife, and like I just feel like if you have an issue with somebody, first step is to go to them, try to solve it. Second step is if they don't stop, then you got to take it public a little bit, unfortunately, because sometimes people won't acknowledge it until it's in the public domain. That's just the reality of it. I mean, if you think back, like when I was calling out scams before, I never really called out people. I called out the companies, and there's a few occasions I called out people because they did nasty crap when I called out the scam. And the reality
Right.
is, I'm all about, the trust factor. I'm all about, the loyalty and the honesty with people. I think that, by being brutally honest with people and just telling them exactly what they have to hear versus what they need to hear, you get results. And I'll tell you, Darren is the master of that. Darren will take you behind a closed door. He'll grill you with the honesty. And but that leads to change. See, this is the thing I think a lot of people hate to face is when you hit them with some truth. They don't like to face that truth sometimes because sometimes that truth has pain behind it. And so first they try to balk, they try to give you an excuse, they try to do this, they try to do that. And the reality is, once they face it and they drive through it, then they come back and say, oh yeah, you were right about that thing. But you know what? They don't like to do it up front. And so it's kind of a funny thing. Like I know I used to have people that Darren would hit with truth and reality behind, in a Zoom, private Zoom. And then they'd be in my inbox, man, Darren's being so mean to me. And I'd tell them, what did he tell you? And then they'd tell me and I'd be like, well, he was right. And I'm like, did you pay attention? Because then all of a sudden people would come back and say, okay, I see what he was getting at. And, like it was so funny. And then I was like, don't tell me that. Go tell him that. And, like he's going to appreciate hearing it because, now he knows you've gotten through something and you're going to be easier to deal with. And that's what it takes, man. Look, like behind closed doors, this is the way I believe. I believe you praise in public, you critique in private. So when you have an issue with somebody by going to them, you're following that mantra. And the reality of it is not everybody takes criticism well. I mean, hell, there's times when I don't want to listen to criticism, but there's times when you can hit me and I'll take it all in and say, okay, let me write all this down and then I'll go back and look at what I was doing and try to fix it.
Right.
But, the reality is most people just don't like change. Most people don't want to face change. They want to be how they are. And in this business, you have to constantly be evolving. You got to constantly be changing because the world is constantly changing. The offers are constantly changing. The programs are changing. The lies are getting more clever. I mean, you got to look beyond all of these things. So, for me, loyalty, honesty, integrity, all level 10s.
I can't even lie. One time Darren told me something. I was like, oh man, that really hurt me. I'm glad he's doing it right now till wait until later. Because some people wait till later and you'll go through all this other stuff. And you're like, man, I wish this person would have told me the truth then. So I wouldn't have to go through all this other stuff and start always from the beginning, go back to the beginning again and start over. It's
That's
just
exactly right, man. That's exactly right. What you're saying is exactly right. You'll waste time, you'll waste money, you'll waste effort. I mean, you'll waste your strength trying to do stuff wrong if somebody doesn't correct you.
Right. I mean, they say God corrects the people that He loves.
Amen.
Yeah, true.
Amen, brother.
It's true.
Yeah,
that's called.
Yep.
That's true love. That's true love, man. The time that we grow is through pain and struggle. Like we do grow through pain. That's when we really grow.
Yep. Yeah, when you face your darkest fears is when you grow the most, man. Those are the fact of life.
Yep. So, Ari, man, what would you say is like the funnest thing for you to do? Like, what's your hobby that you really like enjoy doing when no one else is around? You enjoy doing it. You're like, man, you're just in there, like, yeah, this is.
Oh, like I enjoy lifting weights and just hanging out with my family and just going out for walks and things like that. Walking through the mall, not even if we're shopping. I just like to be with them, But my favorite thing on earth, man, is I like being a professional beach bum. I'm sitting around in shorts and shorts and tank top right now. But the reality is, I would much rather be doing this on Boracay. That's where I have the best time of my life. Like, like I grew up in the Midwest. So, when I get a chance to be on the beach 24 hours a day, that's just like a special place for me, man. I feel, man, I just feel like, I'm sitting on the edge of heaven. Like, it's crazy. Like I love it there. And that's obviously, like we're about to build a house there. That's where I plan to retire. Couldn't be a better place for me because, that's where I'm happiest. When I'm there, I'm in love with everything, man. Nature is so beautiful just looking at the water crashing, So beautiful.
All right. So I got something for you. What's your goal for the next 5 years? And how much are you actually really worth? I want people to know that you're a regular person, just like they are. Like people forget this stuff. Like we don't pump the same, we don't bleed the same way here.
Yeah, I mean that's all bogus, man. We're all the same people, dude. Look, I'll just say it's very nice 7 figures, but the reality of it is the money really don't mean squat to me because I don't spend it. Like I'm not one of those people, man. I bought the cars and I bought the houses and I did all that stuff when I was young. I don't have that. I don't have those same things anymore as goals. Like for me, I want to make sure that my daughter has $1 million when I die. I want to make sure my wife has $1 million when I die. Those are the things that are important to me. And so the way I work is a little different. I don't care about dressing up. I don't care about any of that stuff, man. I just care about joy in my life.
Yeah.
Like we get, like this is a bad part, I think, in America, because in America, we all want to keep up with the Joneses. We've heard this story so many times. Your neighbor got a new car. Next thing you know, 5 years saying, I need a new car, and like over time, like you get basically coaxed into buying new stuff and bigger stuff because your neighbor did it. Such and such is buying a new house, got 15 bedrooms. Oh, we got to get 116. Like I get so sick of that lifestyle, man. And being in Asia, none of that shit matters here. People don't care. If you're wearing a $2 dress or a $300 dress, they look at you the same way. And I started to realize that here, that's really like an only back home thing. It's really not that way in Europe either.
Right.
People look at people for people here. And so it made it easier for me to transition into the person I am today, being here, because I stopped giving a shit. I really stopped caring about all the stuff that didn't matter.
Right.
I just,
would you say that people should take that same way of thinking online, like just stop caring what people think and stop trying to show off and all this stuff, and it
Yeah.
should all, you say it should all be about building relationships.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. Because look, think about it like this: it doesn't matter what somebody else is driving. You ain't driving it, okay? And the reality of it is, if you're just following somebody because they got a fancy car, but they've never helped you, what's good at that? You know, what good is that? They're not doing anything for you. And this is the reality. Like I often find the people that are willing to give the most help are the people who have the least. Like, think about that for a second. The people who are willing to give the most help are the people who have the least. Why? Because they need to struggle to make that dollar. So they're willing to go the extra effort for you to join them. And, you know, like I have people all the time on my team that join me, and I tell people, you know, like if you have somebody and I'm talking to them, let me know. I won't actually take that person. I will completely back off and tell them they have to join you because I don't compete with my team ever. I think that's a really big deal. I think it's very important. You know, sometimes you can't control when people just sign up through your link. So, you know, I've tried to do better at even giving out my link to people. I want people to join my team rather than join me. I think that by doing that, you know, number one, everybody earns, everybody's happy. It's not just about you. You know, like, you know, the money really doesn't matter. Like, you know, like if you can live simple, I mean, I'll give you an example. When I was growing up, I had a next door neighbor right beside me, and then the lady that was right beside them, the husband and wife was right beside them. They were very quiet. They just drove like, you know, average cars, Chryslers, Buicks, things, you know, General Motors, Ford, whatever, just average cars. But those people, they were worth millions and millions of dollars and nobody knew it. Millions.
No.
Yeah, nobody knew it, man. They were just like the average Joes. And, you know, like I remember that very well in the back of my head. And, you know, today that's just really what I want to be. I mean, you know, I walk around here and, you know, I have a few friends here that are very famous. You know, some of the, you know, musicians, some are, you know, actresses and actors. And, you know, like it's kind of funny because a lot of people don't know really what I'm worth. And I don't really care to tell them. But there's a few that actually know because they've been to my house. They've talked to me, you know, and they've seen some of the things I'm doing online. And so they start to wake up and start to say, you know, this guy's not like what he looks like. You know, he just way different, you know, because I just want to fit in. That's the thing. I want to fit in. I want to be unnoticed. I want to be the ghost. You know what I mean? I don't care about having the car. You know, when you have an expensive car or a big house, guess what? That you're a target. People want to rob you. They want to steal from you. They want to see if they can, you know, grift a little money off you. I don't want to be that guy. I just want to be an average person, man. And I respect those types of people that are in the middle of the struggle more than I do the people that have actually made it big. Because a lot of the people that have made it big, you know, they change. You know, money, you know, as we all know, money changes people. And the reality is, it's the first time you get money, I can almost guarantee it's going to change you. You lose it, you get it again. The second time, it'll probably still change you some, but not to the same magnitude as it did the first time you got money. You know, this is my third time making big money. So the reality is, for me, it wasn't anything new. You know, I had already done it, and I realized I had made some mistakes the first two times. So I said, "Oh, I'm just going to live life totally different. I'm just going to live life calm and relaxed, and you know, I'm not going to care about, you know, what I'm buying, what I'm driving. I don't care about any of those things anymore. If it gets me from point A to point B, mission accomplished. You know, if I can put everybody in, including my friends, mission accomplished. You know, if I can take the trips and take the vacations, and sometimes bring a few friends with me. I mean, like." You know, we took a trip when Darren was here. We took 8 people and went over to Rockeye, and we had a blast, man. I mean, you know, I'm sorry, it was right after Darren left. But even when Darren was here, we took a whole video crew and everybody over there and relaxed on the beach for over a week. You know, like that's where it's at for me. I'm much more, you know, doing things, being around people. I mean, because you got to remember, I'm an introvert. This is what a lot of people have a hard time with. I'm an introvert. I would much rather be at home alone, just with my family, not dealing with anyone. That's me. But over time, I've actually forced myself to become an extrovert and go out and talk and be social. And now that's kind of became a pattern for me when I get in certain situations. So like when I'm a Brock guy, I'm like the social butterfly, man. You know, it's so funny. You know, I have so many friends over there that, you know, I've met. You know, done some business with some not, but we still all hang out, have a great time, go for dinner, do whatever. And, you know, I enjoy that atmosphere. You know, I enjoy that too now. That wasn't something that I always enjoyed though. You know, I've never been that kid, you know, even in school, like all the cliques and shit. I didn't care about any of that. You know, I didn't care about being popular, not popular, this crowd, that crowd. I just don't care about that stuff. You know, I, I,
Right, so
I just want to make, yeah, you know, like I've always been, Pierre, very goal oriented. So like whether it was playing sports, I wanted to be the best. Business, I want to be the best. You know, I just work. You know, like in that type of mentality, I think the people that have that type of mentality in our business, they have possibilities for great things, man. Great things, bro.
hold on. Another question. I got another question for you. We can get off of here. We we'll be on here for like 2 hours. Cause I love this right here, man. Cause it's the straight truth, like the real stuff. Like this is the stuff that people need to hear. The real stuff.
Yep.
So, what would you say for new entrepreneurs just now getting online, just now getting into the entrepreneurial space? What would you say to the beginners? What would you tell
Uh,
them that's most significant and important to their success?
do it on yourself. Don't try to do it all yourself because number one, you're gonna waste a lot of money trying shit that does not work. Believe me, I know because when I started this almost 19
Right.
years ago, there wasn't anybody to show you how to do it because nobody had ever done it before. So the reality is, I remember months I'd make 100 grand or 80 grand, and then I'd turn around and spend 80 grand the next month trying to go big, and I'd lose it all because it didn't work. So
Ooh.
get with somebody who has experience that can actually show you, that can actually teach you, and then together you guys can actually, you know, help each other. I mean, that's really what it's about. If you're brand new, team up with somebody who's been doing it a little longer than you that can show you what they're doing, and then follow
Right.
somebody even better that will actually show you some of the stuff they're doing. And over time, you'll start honing your skills. But one thing I will say is don't be afraid to spend a little money for some courses. The courses, if I were you, I would go to like Udemy, udemy.com, and I would actually look at some courses there. You can learn Facebook ads. You can learn a lot of stuff there. Low cost. There's no affiliate commissions. There's none of that crazy stuff. So you can actually just spend what you need to spend. You don't have to spend crazy amount of money, and you can advance, you know, your learning, your technical skills, and you can get better all the way around as a marketer. I mean, you know, not everything's going to be free, but you know, a lot of times you can find people that will help you to an extent for free, and then you'll have to pay for something. So whatever it is, get with somebody and have them start to mentor you. You know, if you go to Pierre, he can show you what he already knows. Once you get to where Pierre is, then all of a sudden you have to go to something better. Then you can come to Darren and I. You can join Black Ops Live, and we could help you guys, you know, go to the next level. You know, our goal is a little different than most because we're not just doing video tutorial training. We're doing
Right.
live sessions every week, and we're teaching people, you know, and now we're about to start doing 5 lives every week on 5 different topics for 4 different weeks in every month. So that's actually kind of a unique deal where people actually learn a lot of stuff from the algorithm on Facebook to, advertising, marketing, you know, head trash, law of attraction. I mean, all types of different stuff. So, you know, we try to really sort through it all, man. I'm pretty excited about what's coming.
Oh man, I'm excited for you. I'm excited. I'm
Yeah.
excited about it myself.
Yeah. Sky's the limit though, man. You already know that. You're here, you're already making money now. Life's
Right.
changed, things are getting easier, you know, and that's what it's about. I mean, you know, like, I mean, be honest. If you just kept doing what you were doing, you kept getting what you were getting, right? And that wasn't a lot.
Dude,
Now,
I would have been
now,
dead. I'd be dead. I'd be dead
yeah.
if I was kept doing what
Well,
literally.
I'm glad you're here, bro. Seriously, glad you're here. You know, and I'm glad we could help.
Yeah, I really appreciate it, man. Like it was a hard time losing both my parents, man, and trying to get over drug addiction and all this stuff.
Yeah,
This all was happening around the same time. Like this
I,
it
I can
wasn't no joke. I'm just like,
I can relate to that, man. You know, like after I got here, you know, I lost my dad and then I lost my mom while I was here, and
I didn't know that.
yeah, man, it was tough, bro. Like especially with my pops because I was really close to my dad. You know, My dad and I growing up, we weren't close at all. My dad and I were like this growing up, and he was raised by a stepfather that was very mean. And when he was about 9 years old, he actually hopped on a train with the help of a hobo and got into Indianapolis. Was outside the Indianapolis 500, saw the hobo steal some fruit. So my dad, being a 9-year-old, tried to steal some fruit. And he got caught. Ended up in the Indianapolis State Boys Home. And that's where he stayed. He didn't want to give him his real last name because he didn't want to go home because he used to get beat all the time from his stepfather. And, it's kind of tough. He actually went in the military, World War II. And, came back a better man, came back a more compassionate person. But my dad's, fathering style was, I'm going to beat that butt, and so, it's tough growing up at home, man. I mean, it was really strict, spankings, almost daily occurrence. Sometimes spanked you couldn't even walk, almost a weekly occurrence. He was tough, but, and I had a lot of, anger. Hold up a second, man. I have a lot of anger from my pops because of that. But, it got better over time, man. And that's the most important thing. The relationship healed. I became very close to my father after I started to understand his upbringing, his childhood. And, when he passed, I wish I'd had a few more years, man. Hey, Pierre, listen, I got to run. I got another call to set up for 11. So I got to bounce, man, because I got people going to be waiting on me, okay?
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. I got
something. Hey, I appreciate you guys. And anybody, I'm happy to chat with you guys anytime, man. Listen to Pierre, though. I promise you won't steer you the wrong direction. He's got his head on right. And, guys, we're doing wonders over here with people. If you guys want to be part of that, give a Pierre. We talk soon, bro.
Man, you went out, man.